They always say, there's no small parts, only small
Yep,
actors. And
it's
so
true.
there's so much creativity within us that it can be unleashed anywhere. And now with the internet, there's no excuse for having outlets. I see people acting on YouTube all the time. This one guy, he's got like 1 million views, and he uses the same apartment, and he just does these skits. And I'm sure he's making money at it now. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Greetings from Columbia, Maryland, where we are recording Razzle Dazzle Radio, a show brought to you by Howard Community College. I'm Carolyn Keleman, and I'm here with my co-host Judy Templeton. And today's show is definitely a Razzle Dazzle one. It's the Gala season here in Howard County, so we're going to give you lots of tips on where you buy tickets, what to wear to these fabulous events, what food is available there, and just about everything else you want to know to razzle-dazzle them in the fall. So stay tuned and listen to our 3 terrific guests as they give you these tips.
And yes, Carolyn, let's take out those top hats. Let's take out those Jimmy Choo shoes. Let's dust them all off. Let's put on the Ritz and razzle dazzle them at the celebration of the arts, the annual that we all look forward to. And I'm so excited because Mira Lamson Klein is going to tell us what to expect this year. And I heard it's going to be bigger and better than ever. So Mira, thanks for coming on. Tell us what we can expect.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. As always, we are going to celebrate the arts in Howard County in all of their glory. The celebration of the arts is on November 2nd at HCC. It starts at 6 p.m. with a fabulous reception filled with local food sponsors. So we have right now 16 local restaurants and catering companies signed on, but of course that number could always go up. And the opportunity for guests to enjoy a local art auction, live music, live performances, and sample food from all of these fantastic restaurants. And then, of course, the main event is the Rising Star Performing Arts Competition. That starts at 8 p.m. We have a fantastic lineup this year. We have 9 rising stars. They are all between the ages of 18 and 35. They live, work, perform, train here in Howard County, and they're going to show off their best talents for you. We have 5 instrumentalists this year, including 2 flautists, a violinist, a bassoonist, and a string quartet of fabulous young people. We also have 3 vocalists and 1 dancer. So a little bit of everything, and our live audience will get to vote on the winner, who will take home the $5,000 cash prize. So if you want to vote, please buy a ticket and attend the event. You can choose the Rising Star for this year.
And how can they buy a ticket?
You can buy a ticket on our website, hocoarts.org, HOCOARTS, that's arts plural. .org. Tickets are available for $50 to sit in our studio theater and enjoy a simulcast viewing of the performance, or for $100 to sit in the Smith Theater and watch the performance live. But everyone gets to enjoy the reception and everyone gets to vote.
I love it. Tell us a little bit about the Howie Awards that happened that night too.
Yes, so in between these fabulous performances for our Rising Stars, we will present the Howie Awards to our outstanding artists, arts educator, and community supporter of the arts for this year. And we are also giving out the special Legacy in the Arts Howie Award. We have a fantastic group of honorees this year, all people who have made a great impact on the local arts scene in Howard County.
Wow, all that and a bag of tricks. It sounds like a great, great evening. So I can't wait to be there. So please get your tickets. Hey, and get a live seat, get the $100 seat, go for it, all right? Get in there in the Smith Theater. HCC's a fabulous place to have this, and the food ain't bad either. So I am gonna dress it up and razzle-dazzle them. So hope to see you there. Thanks, Mira, for coming on and giving us all the information. And now I am going to move from another celebration, and this is to celebrate Gerald and Brynn. Gerald Jordan and Brynn Williams are the directors and lots more of the Columbia School of Theatrical Arts. And Brynn was once a young Columbian. And we're going to hear a little bit more also about Gerald's colorful past and how they found their way together. And they're not just directors together, they're also directing a family, I understand. And so in the production field, they produced a baby. So, I mean, what more can you say? So I'm super excited to have you on. Brynn, I'm going to just start with you. So tell us a little bit about your past as a young Columbian and how you found your way into the Columbia School of Theatrical Arts.
Absolutely. So I was a young Columbian. Toby asked me to audition for the group when I was 8 years old. So I was really young for the group. But at the time, I was performing at Toby's dinner theater, and Toby just saw something in me. And Toby, with her desire to foster the talents and passions of the youth, brought me in, took me under her wing, and I got to work with all of the amazing fellow young Columbians. And I also participated in CCTA's summer camps. And I did that every year between the ages of 6 and 17. So I really grew up with the program. And in between the summer programs, I was fortunate enough to make my Broadway debut when I was 12 and was in 5 Broadway shows before I turned 18. So,
Child prodigy, I'll tell you.
I mean, it's really a testament to my theatrical education. I was able to go and do these shows and then come back, and Toby was always big on there's always something to learn. You always have more to learn. There's no such thing as a perfect performance or as a perfect performer. You always have room to grow. And from there, I started teaching with CCTA when I was about 21, I think. I was teaching their special needs classes, the Saturday classes, going into the schools. And fortunately and unfortunately, I had an amazing opportunity shortly after I started teaching. I was cast in David Bowie's final production, Lazarus. And so I had to stop teaching and go to New York and be in that show. I got to work with him. And over the course of that, I also was in my 6th Broadway show, did a first national tour, and then the pandemic hit. And while we were all at home with our computers, I just still wanted to teach. I always wanted to help and to give back, and was able to do that through CCTA. So we led a virtual intensive where we called a bunch of my Broadway friends to teach master classes for some incredibly talented middle and high schoolers. And after the world opened back up again, it was just one of those things where Broadway will always be there. I can always go back and perform, should I be fortunate enough to book another show. But I really, really am passionate about taking what I've learned and giving it back to the students here. And they're so talented and so passionate. And I see myself in so many of them. And more so, I hear Toby coming out of my mouth as I'm teaching them.
You're channeling Toby. Oh, boy.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no one better to channel, in my opinion. She really is a phenomenal educator. When I was teaching, that's how I met Gerald.
Aha. Now you gave me a segue into Gerald. Okay, so now, Gerald, take it from there. So where had you been prior to that point?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I started off, I was not a student of CCTA, but I was still indirectly influenced by Toby in my youth. Growing up, as I was in school, I was taught by Toby's sister, Sue Miller, which is ultimately my connection and how I ended up part of this world, one that you couldn't pry me away from. And so I went off to school in New York. I came back and ran into them again. And that's how I ended up teaching here at CCTA. I've been here for like 12 years now. And so I started off teaching the elementary school classes. I've taught essentially every program that we have to offer to date. And now I have the honor of serving as the executive director for CCTA. So it's really been quite a journey. And really being in the classroom with the students, like Brynn kind of touched upon, is really where you feel the greatest impact. I mean, the students are just so talented, so kind, and so passionate about not just theater, but one another. It really is a family, and it's something that means a lot to them, and having the honor of watching a lot of them grow over the years is something that, I wouldn't trade for the world. And so as we were teaching, Brynn and I actually met on the class where she booked Lazarus. And so we taught together for a day, and then she was gone. And so we stayed in contact, which has worked out in the long run, one could say. And so
more or less.
More or less, right?
Oh my gosh.
Yes, but it truly has been just a wonderful journey, and being surrounded by so many wonderful people at CCTA and being able to learn from them, and always looking to improve, and really taking Toby's mantra where perfection just isn't there. There's always improvement that can be had, and that happens on and off the stage, and so we are constantly in a state of growth, and not just as an organization, not just as performers, but as people, as well. And so to be able to impart that on the students is truly an honor.
Well, it's an honor for them. And I think you all should write your story here for a play, because it's just really fairy tale. It really, really is how you all have met. So how is that? How does that work when you direct together? Do you compartmentalize yourselves sort of? So tell us how that works.
There is a bit of compartmentalizing that has to go along with it, because Gerald is the executive director and I'm the programs and educations director. So there is a hierarchy there that isn't there in the marriage. So there are some things that we disagree on just as directors, but as people, where he's very big on, we have to make sure that everything is age appropriate for the children, which I agree on. But there's also that if we're going to do the show, we have to do the show. So sometimes there's some rank pulling, but it's always in the best interest of the kids. When it comes to directing the shows, I think we're really great about filling in the gaps where the other one is lacking, for lack of a better word, or helping each other out where there are struggles.
Yeah, it's very give and take. And I think for both of us, we lead with the fact that the show never truly belongs to us. It always belongs to the students. And so by having that approach, we essentially take our egos completely out of it. And, we're always just trying to set them up to succeed and set them up to grow as well. And so, that helps a lot. It makes it very easy where even when we butt heads, on some of the decisions that we're making in regards to the show, we always have the interests of the students in mind. So it's never personal. It's always just like, what can we do to make sure that their experience is the best that it can be and to set them up to succeed?
Yeah, and we're really great about yielding when the other person has the better argument as well. We see logic and we see reason. And like Gerald said, it's at the end of the day, it's all about the kids and what works the best for them. I always say, no one is winning Tonys for our summer production of Footloose. It's really about what works the best for the students.
Yep. And you're bringing that training that you got from Toby right into that. And obviously your synergy really works. And so sadly, I did not get to see Titanic, which of course was one of the shows that you had this summer, but I heard fabulous things from so many people, and I'm so sad. And that was no small task to direct, I'm quite sure. So, okay, so moving forward, what are we going to look at? What kinds of shows can we expect to see moving forward?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are getting ready to launch into all of our programming coming up this fall. Our young Colombians are back in action. They're going to be performing all throughout Howard County. This May, they'll be producing Sweeney Todd. So that'll be there at Howard Community College. So that'll be their big production of the year. But in addition to that, they're always performing at different retirement homes. They have a lot of different medleys that they perform out in the community, and they're always looking for performance opportunities as well. We try to give them as many opportunities as possible. But in addition to that, we have our elementary school programs. Doing Wizard of Oz and Trinity Jones this year. Our middle schoolers are doing 13 and The Lion King. We have our outreach programs, both in Baltimore, and our special needs programs as well, which operate all year round. And then we have our conservatory classes, which are performing Newsies and for the middle school students, and then Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which Brynn was part of the first national tour for our high school students. So we're very busy. We're constantly putting up different productions, to say the least.
In addition to that, we're doing a fundraising gala on October
I was
20th
gonna ask
at the college,
Yeah.
which is, we're calling it like a CCTA yearbook, so to speak, where we're doing a celebration of all of the shows the kids did in the 2023-2024 season. So you're going, if you missed Titanic, you'll get to see some of the kids from Titanic perform a number of kids from our elementary schools, middle schools. We're going to celebrate all of the kids' accomplishments throughout the year. Our 2024-2025 Young Colombians will be performing, and we are going to have a really big special announcement on October 20th in regards to the Young Colombians. So we're really, really excited about that.
Well, if that's not enough to make you want to attend, so where can we get tickets for that?
Yeah, so tickets can be found right on our website, which is cctarts.org. We will also have our social media. You can find it there. We'll constantly have QR codes we're going to be promoting all over. It is an event for the kids, by the kids, so it's very family friendly. We'd love to see anyone there to support.
One more time, the date and time, please.
Yes, so it is October 20th. It is going to be an all-day event. So we're going to have events that go on a reception that occurs prior. We'll have silent auction as well, different activities for kids, and it'll all culminate in a performance.
What a fun day. I am marking that in black ink on my calendar, and it is a pleasure and it is an honor to have spoken with both of you and know that the community adores you. And we are so happy that you are continuing the legacy of the great training from Toby Orenstein through the Columbia Center for Theatrical Arts and the Young Colombians. So keep doing what you're doing. And also, congrats. Tell us real quick before we have to go, what's your daughter's name?
Oh, her name is Mia. She's 4 months old.
Oh, we are looking for her on the stages soon. You know it'll be soon.
We bring her to rehearsals, so she's already used to the theatrical
you're
space.
already working her. That's great. Thank you again. And we will see you on October 20th.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh boy. I mean, this is a powerhouse, like I said today. And now I get the pleasure to talk to Tico Wells. And he, of course, in the continuing theme, has been at Toby's, and he's had a very colorful career through that, and that has led him to other things, including Hollywood. And he is coming to us today, and we're so appreciative for your time. So, Tico, tell us a little bit about what happened here at Toby's, and then how you've gotten to where you are.
Well, first of all, it was great to hear the other folks just now, and I definitely got my first professional job as an actor, singer, dancer, theater person from Toby Orenstein not long before Toby's Dinner Theater, but back when it was called Columbia School of Theatrical Arts.
Oh, yes, okay.
And now they've grown up to be a center of theatrical arts. So I'm just so happy to hear Brynn and Gerald. But anyway, they just took me back, man, because, Toby Orenstein has just been a pillar in the theatrical community, and not only Howard County, but just in the DMV. I started out with the junior young Colombians performing. My teacher from Laurel High School brought me up to Toby's, and I auditioned to be in the junior young Colombians, and we had to go and watch the big young Colombians, and they were our heroes, and all of us
Right.
had desires of moving up one day to the senior group. And after about a year and a half working in the junior young Colombians, the summer of 1979.
Oh boy, we're dating back.
Yeah, it's good that we can do that.
Yep.
I actually was cast in Pippin in 78, the fall of 78, and we did it at Oakland Mills High School. And then the next summer, we took the show to a little barn in a place called Y Mills, Maryland, on the Eastern Shore. And we
Okay.
did Pippin. That was my first paid job as an actor. And I made $100 a week, and I was happy to get it. And we stayed on a plantation, believe it or not, like an
Oh,
old
my.
slave plantation. It's kind of crazy, right?
Oh.
But anyway, it was dinner theater. It was live dinner theater. People would come and get a steak and corn dinner, and we perform. I left there and got promoted to the Young Colombians, and we did a place called Wolf Trap in
Yep.
Virginia, and we did the Hollywood show. And so that summer was just big for me, 1979. And then I started this amazing theater program at Bowie State University, which previously had been only English and communication, who were putting on plays. And the year I came, a gentleman named Dr. H.D. Flowers came from Arkansas, University of Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and brought all of his students and started this amazing theater program at Bowie State. And what was crazy was that, my friends were graduating high school and going to Maryland and Towson and Catholic, where Toby taught, and all the big schools in town, Howard, Morgan. I was a little sad because Bowie State didn't have much of a reputation other than being a little teacher's college in the woods. And it turned out to be two of the most amazing years of my life. And
Funny how
so,
that happens, huh?
they always say, there's no small parts, only small
Yep.
actors. And
It's
so
true.
there's so much creativity within us that it can be unleashed anywhere. And now with the internet, there's no excuse for having outlets. I see people acting on YouTube all the time. This one guy, he's got like 1 million views, and he uses the same apartment, and he just does these skits. And I'm sure he's making money at it now. It's amazing. It's amazing.
So, in the name of time, I want to hear what you're doing now too. So, and I know
Okay.
don't you have a nonprofit as well that's helping to serve?
I'm honorary board member of First Generation College Bound, which was
Ooh.
started by Joe Fisher, a good friend of mine in Laurel. And he has, for the last 34 years, helped kids from low-income families get into college relatively debt-free, if not debt-free. And so just what he has meant to the Maryland community, particularly in Prince George's and Howard County. But over 2,800 students have come through the program and enrolled in college in the last 34 years. And this year they had about another 200 graduates from high school who are going to be going into college. It really gives kids a chance where they didn't think they could afford it. He shows them how the government has set aside billions for them to go to school, and he's making a difference.
Mission.
Yeah, so
So-
that's First Generation College Bound, FGCB.org.
And that's how we
And,
could find out and possibly do some kind of support for that, right?
Yes, you can donate there. And if you want to donate to the documentary, in the notes section, put film, write the word film. So that's FGCB as in boy, .org. Go to the donation section and make sure you put FILM and the donations will go to help us get this project off the ground. And you can donate anytime. You can become a yearly donator, a monthly donator, whatever you want to do to give more opportunities. Because anybody who's done a nonprofit knows that funding could dry up any second.
Exactly.
And it's a mission. It's a mission. So also on Amazon Prime, I'm in a film called Jacob, Broken by God.
Okay.
Jacob, Broken by God. And I play a bishop who is building a ministerial empire. And Jacob is somebody I hired to come in and take over one of my churches. And Jacob is a reluctant minister who comes from a long family of ministers. And through a chain of events, his reluctancy turns into acceptance. And it's a really beautiful film, Jacob, Broken by God.
Are you sure you're just one person, Tico? Come on.
You know what?
Amazing.
I've worked with so many people, like particularly Robert Townsend when I did the 5 Heartbeats, and he wrote, produced, starred in, directed, helped produce the musical, because it was a musical movie, the 5 Heartbeats, which is so amazing that 34 years later after I filmed that movie, people still know me as choir boy from the 5 Heartbeats. Sure. And it's become kind of a cult classic. You never know where your artistic career is going to take you or where the creator is going to take you in life, right? We don't know.
You are a perfect example of that. And you know what?
Yeah.
In terms of time, we were going to have to go, but I'm going to have to bring you back for Tico Part 2. But what I want to say about you that I love is that you have used the performing arts for the serving arts. And I would even go as far as to say the spiritual arts, per your name on the screen, Spirit Power. And it has all completely integrated in who you are. And I just love that. And again, just from a small experience here in Columbia, which grew to a bigger one, which you have grown and now taken all over, you're just an inspiration. You truly are. And I'm so sorry we ran out of time. But yeah, we're going to get you back on for Part 2 if you would honor us to come back again, and we'll keep finding out more of your layers here.
Anytime. And before I go, I gotta give her flowers, Miss Carolyn Keleman, who has always been a big supporter and motivator. When I did Pippin, she was our choreographer, and can never forget her warm spirit. She's always with me. I'm giving her flowers right now. She's always looking to support, always looking to give and motivate, and rare, that type of person doesn't come along. So I love her so much. So I just want to say that.
Great. Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We're going to grab you up again. And thank you to Dragon Podcast and Howard Community College for our continued partnership. Don't forget to check out our previous episodes at Razzle Dazzle with Carolyn and Judy. .podbean.com. We're also on Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts. So until next time, this is Judy Templeton, co-host Carolyn Keleman on Razzle Dazzle. Until next time, Razzle Dazzle.